Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Stream has been approved for truth seekers by the DEFCON Truth Alliance.
If the opinion that's coming out needs people to be silenced, it's a psyop. There are psychological operations in play.
So if you can't question it, if you're supposed to just go along, it's a psyop.
Yeah, and if people have to be silenced or publicly shamed because of their information, and they're not telling people the sky's falling, they're not saying crazy shit. Mm-hmm. They're just saying basic stuff, and they need to be silenced. That is a psyop.
There's a war out there, old friend. A world war. And it's not about who's got the most bullets. It's about who controls the information. What we see and hear, how we work, what we think. It's all about the information.
We have an Insurrection Act for a reason.
This is warfare. This is warfare.
Bad guy can't win. It's a morality tale.
This is warfare. This is warfare.
The eyes see and the ears hear, the mind believes.
This is warfare. This is warfare. Goodbye. You can run, but you can't hide.
It's gotta be biblical.
One by one, one by one, say goodbye. One by one, say goodbye. One by one, say goodbye. You can run, but this is fire. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare. This is warfare.
What's up, brother? It's gonna be a good one tonight. I'm looking.
Oh, this is gonna be freaking brilliant! Oh man! So
I am definitely looking forward to tonight's conversation.
I didn't cover any of this stuff on my show for a reason.
Dude, I haven't done a show like my normal show in 2 days. Because I had to catch up with the Rumble Premium stuff. I was like, this waiting to the last minute on the premium stuff. I really got to work that out. So that means the back end of this week is going to be heavy for me. So I definitely feel you, because I have bookmarks upon bookmarks. So I did choose one that I think is really significant to get us in that momentum and the brain juices going for DEFCON 0 tonight. Well, first to the audience, welcome. Episode 24. You guys are
And there's no fan. You hear my computer?
Well, I do hear. I don't hear what I was hearing. So congratulations on that. For the audience, do us a solid, smash the thumb, hit the heart, leave a comment. Gonna be a very good show tonight. One thing I'll tease at, and then I'll let Josh tease at something that he wants to talk about. And then we'll get into our first two commercials for tonight. Well, first, let's cover the most important thing that happened this week. Okay. The most important thing is yours truly over here, Alpha, team manager for the Fed Banditos, won Badlands' first annual fantasy football. You guys are looking at it. This is the king champ here. Took down the amazing but very great opponent, Chris Paul, in the Super Bowl. But of course, Alpha would win. So no matter what happens,
Good job, ChatGPT.
no matter what happens for the dawn of time, Alpha will always be the first one to have won Badlands' fantasy football. It's going to get real interesting when we get Josh in there next year. But here's what I want to tease on. Trump did a post today at 2:44 my time, so 5:44 East Coast time.
Oh,
and it was with the windmills and the bald eagle. And
but it wasn't a bald eagle. It was a hawk. It was a falcon. It wasn't a bald eagle. But there's something in the image that's very specific that if you didn't pay attention, you won't catch it. Plus, the timestamp is doubly. The timestamp is double coordination.
There's a few things in there, but he put bald eagle in his text. Because I do agree, it does look like a falcon or something like that.
They're killing the bald eagle, which is representative of what?
Don't tell him yet, man. Don't tell him yet. But wait, there's more. before we get. Go ahead.
Well, so it's the last DEFCON 0 of 2025. I think that what we can do tonight is we're going to talk about these decodes of the last day, but then I also want to go through 2025. I want to revisit what we've had happen over the last year and what we can expect for 2026, because a White House video that was posted earlier today is kind of indicative that, hey, Josh and Alpha were right on their pre-Christmas show when they said that 2026 is going to be off the hook, that everything you've seen right now was a psyop in 2025 in preparation for 2026. And this is going to get real interesting. We can even get into the global politics of what's happening with Ukraine, Russia, Britain, all of that. China right now. I know people are like, oh my God, look at my silver. It's skyrocketing. People are saying it's going to go to 7,500. Take profits. I'm going to just be that person. I'm a pessimist when it comes to this, because I want to tell you why that's happening. And then after I tell you why, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen probably fairly soon, where that price is going to come back down.
And
so
I'm going to remind
we can get into all this.
Yeah, and I'll remind everybody. I think it was either DEFCON or Q After Hours about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, where I told everybody about the 4th book from General Flynn and Boone Cutler that's coming out. We'll revisit that conversation tonight because we called it. we called it. So with that, let's get to these amazing sponsors that keep us with the ability to keep this content free for you guys. So if you guys want to support the Patriot movement with these parallel economies, go down in the description and support these, like I said, amazing sponsors, affiliates, and partnerships that we have. And first on deck, because you know I love coffee, folks, badlandsmedia.tv/loaded. Badlanders, you're familiar with Loaded Gun Coffee. They have been longtime supporters of Badlands, and you may have met them in person at one of the GARTs. But did you know they are a veteran-ran, family-owned shop in Lake Havasu, Arizona? London Bridge out there. Every bag of their whole bean coffee delivers a high-octane, patriotic punch of flavor. With a long family history of commitment to freedom, every bag is a testament of pride and honor. From skilled farmers who cultivate each blend to their roasters that handpick the finest coffee beans from around the world, Loaded Gun Coffee has mastered their unique brewing methods, resulting in the best tasting coffee around. This coffee is smooth and delicious, the perfect way to start your morning. So again, go to badlandsmedia.tv/loaded. Use promo code Badlands to get 10% off of your order. And that link is down in the description. If one of you fine people want to drop it in the chat, I'll appreciate it. And then a face you're all familiar with because he's been in the headlines a lot lately, the MyPillow guy.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our biggest Made in America sale ever. We just put huge discounts on products made right here in the USA. MyPillow bed pillows, body pillows, go anywhere pillows, bolster pillows, all made with my patented adjustable fill. Mattresses, mattress toppers, mattress pads, adjustable bed frames, mattress foundations, and so much more. All made right here in the USA. And now we're expanding our USA products beyond just quality sleep. Like the cross I wear every day, now available in both men's and women's. We even have USA made socks. And are you tired of being tired? Try our new health beverage, Rev 7. Or how about my coffee, the greatest coffee ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get deep discounts on all these products. Plus, for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
Again, folks, these people have supported not only Badlands, that they've supported me, they've supported Josh, they've supported so many content creators out there. And we always talk about, well, what can we do? And I want to help support these patriotic companies that are going against the big box stores. It's one way to do it. So, Josh, let me get us warmed up with this one first, because I know this one's going to be a lot of fun. Let me share my screen here. And for those of you that missed Q After Hours on Sunday, it was Joshua's birthday. So if you guys want to throw him some happy birthdays in the chat, I'm sure he will appreciate that. So let me bring this up on the screen, brother. So again, Donald Trump today at 2:44 my time, so that would be 5:44 East Coast time or 17:44 military time. He drops this post and he says, windmills are killing all of our beautiful bald eagles. And as Josh has correctly pointed out, that is not a bald eagle.
That's a falcon.
That's what it says. Falcon, hawk, something like that. So immediately I said, that's interesting. But what was more interesting is this date right here in the lower right corner. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys.
That says 9/11.
Indeed, it does. It absolutely says 9/11. And then you also have a 13 on the windmill. I do not think that is by accident.
Well, but you also have 1200 by 1200.
Yes.
So I don't think that was a mistake. Usually you would crop that out. They wanted that in there. And let's start
1220.
Yeah, let's start with well, no, it should be 1200, right?
No,
1200. Oh, it's 1220.
Yeah, 1220 by 1220.
Gotcha. It's 1220. Oh. So, well, maybe it's not. But it actually has context to everything that all of these posts arrange around. So number one is it's 544, right?
Correct.
So 544. So first one I go to is 1744. Do you have all these tagged, Alpha?
I do. So let me share them on the screen I had it on the tab, so now I can share it this way. Here we go. So 544 is first on deck.
Oh, look at that great bunch of people. We have George Soros, Rockefeller. We have Ted Turner. Some grand old global elitists. So that's Bill Gates' father right there. Oh, almost like they're killing the bald eagle. They're killing America.
100% on board with you so far. As a matter of fact, I did a post on this a few weeks ago, so I'm going to grab it real quick. Let me just type in Ted Turner because that'll populate it. And give me 1 second. Search engine on. You know what? Let me do Soros instead. Actually, let me just do Turner. Because I think I used his,
Turner.
I think I did his full. No, that's not populating either.
You're supposed to be prepared, Alpha.
But no, this is something else that I wanted to bring up. So, Jesus.
Well, you look for that.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
going to pull up this other, pull that one down. Let me pull up. I don't have access to pull anything up. Oh, because I'm not logged in. Huh, that's weird.
There you go. I'll pull it up for you.
Okay. So this is post 1744. Now notice July 28th, 2018. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this is if you go all the way to the bottom of the post, the last part about it is bombs away, Merry Christmas. We just had Christmas. That's kind of interesting that this timestamp's coming up now. So what does the post say? Have you been watching the news since Friday? And it talks about Peter Strzok. How was he compromised? How was he paid? Who's Melissa Hodgman? Company, title, date, and promotion. Focus on the date. What events Peter recently occurred that you now know? Then right here, the bomb diggity. Think HRC emails, Wiener laptop, etc. Dates. That's important because Senator Chuck Grassley just the other day called up the FBI and demanded all of the Wiener laptop files be turned over to the Senate investigation committee that's investigating the Clinton Foundation. And this was subpoena of all, even the classified documents. We know what's on HRC's file folder on Wiener's laptop. Huma Abedin had a dirt folder note labeled insurance on Wiener's laptop. We know that it was the NSA who sent the tip to the NYPD that Wiener was texting young girls naked photos of himself, which caused his laptop to be seized in the first place. This is how they got into their possession. So huge right there on this confirmation. And then they say, what are puppets? How do you control a puppet? Number 2 in FBI, wife connection. This is obviously 2018. Follow the wives. Keep watching the news this week. And then future proves the past. Then how many Democrats and Republicans will not seek re-election? There's a
That's big.
Huge. So what just passed in the Senate? Why? Who's their handler? So obviously we have to look at various different pinpoints. So Alpha and I talked about this last time, in Brad as well, that the whole context of the post isn't necessarily relevant, is that you can actually piecemeal these things. So Hussein, Iran connection, bombs away, Merry Christmas. This is very important because when we start to look at this one post and the time frame that it was posted, along with a White House video, it starts to draw in context. Now, number one is let's go to 911 first, post 9/11, because that one was actually drawn up in here by that time that was sitting there, right?
Right.
And let me go pull this up real quick.
As soon as you do, I'll pop it up. Here we go.
And now we have the Twin Towers on September 11th post, John Brennan, James Comey. And so Trump said something could happen in the next 48 hours. I don't know what that means, but what if we saw an indictment of John Brennan in the next 24 hours? Tomorrow, potentially the last day of the year. I think that would be absolutely epic. Is it potential? Yeah, I think that's potentially we could see something like that happen, especially with these signal comms that we are getting. And then, so we got this, obviously September 9/11 in that post, but now we go to the White House post that they made.
Well, before we go to that one,
Go to your post.
yeah, because I don't want us to leave this one just yet. So let me bring this up real quick to show you guys all. And here we go. So this was the post I was talking about. You remember Q Dallas?
Q Dallas.
It was I have it on the screen. Trump did this,
Oh,
and then
it did. Yes, I remember this.
and then he deleted it. Well, that conversation, the timestamps, the difference in spellings brought me when I did this one to that post right here, 544, the one that we're talking about tonight. Now, this is what I wanted to break down because it's an image that I've seen a lot of Anon's posts. I've seen a lot of people talk about it, but I don't think people are real up to speed on everybody that's in that image. So I am going to read for you guys. So again, we're talking about this one. And I'm going to read to you guys this. It's short, so just bear with me. Let me make it bigger so you guys can see this a little easier. So just to remind everybody, recap. This morning, the president got the attention of digital soldiers with a Q in the misspellings matter, in Q Dallas on a Truth Social post at 5:44 a.m. Eastern. He would delete this post, and then 2 hours and 7 minutes later, 127 minutes, he would repost the same post without the Q. So referencing the first timestamp, 5:44. Q post 5:44, January 18, 2018. It's a group photo of 7 people. The photo was taken in 2001 in Edinburgh, Scotland, at the Benile Carnegie Medal of Philanthropy Awards ceremony. The photographer of the image was Nike Zak. I'll say his name. I'm not going to say the whole thing. The individuals pictured were among those present to receive the Carnegie Medal of Philanthropy for their contributions to society. That photo's attached. So the top row, this is going from left to right, real quick, just to let you guys see it. That photo. So top one, left to, where the hell did we go?
Down a little bit, right there.
There we go, left to right. Robert Edward Turner III, Ted Turner. William Henry Gates II, Bill Gates Sr., this is Bill Gates' dad. George Soros, Open Society Foundations. David Rockefeller, Council on Foreign Relations, amongst many other things. The bottom row, Irene Diamondwood. She was a Hollywood talent scout, editor at Warner Brothers, and she's tied to the film Casablanca. That's an interesting story if you guys just go read on that with her. Lenore Cohn Annenberg, Chief of Protocol of the United States from 1981 to 1982, married to Walter Annenberg, who was the ambassador to the UK. Roberta Brooke Astor, daughter of the 16th Commandant of the Marine Corps, married into the Astor family. Her son, Anthony Dryden, Tony Kuser, was a CIA officer and consultant to the NSA. So this is the background with those ladies that were in there. Then we don't really have to go too much into the rest of the stuff because that was relevant to that. But I did want to give that bit of intel for.
I love that. Because it brings a lot of context, because this is the formation of the original kind of American globalist who aligned with the British aristocracy's globalist royal families to bring about the one world government, new world order. And Trump, over the last 11 and a half months, has absolutely decimated all of their plans. Now, I want to put out a point of notice. Now, bring up the White House video real quick.
Okay.
You guys are going to love this, because this is something that only I tend to see, and other Anons don't usually see this. But this is one way that Trump has communicated in the past to pay attention. Now, scroll down to the timestamp. So 1:37 your time, which is 4:37 Eastern. 4:37 Eastern. What time did Trump post his bald eagle post? 5:44.
5:44. There you go.
How many minutes pass in between 4:37 and 5:44?
How many?
Well, it's 1 hour and 7, or 1 hour. Sorry. It is 67 minutes. 67 minutes.
So 1
which
hour,
is
7
1
minutes?
hour, 7 minutes. 1:07. Just keep that in mind, because play the video.
All right, here we go. You guys are going to enjoy this. This is freaking motivating as hell right here.
Hold the line. Stay with me. Brothers, what we doing live? Echoes. Strengthen on. Strengthen up.
At my signal, unleash hell.
See it right there? The fact that the White House is putting stuff like this out. Now, what I want you to do is to think mirror. Okay? Think mirror. Now, before we go to the hold the line part, Alpha, scroll to where Trump's in front of the F-35.
7-Eleven.
Big mirror, and it's coming up right there. So you get another 17, but then look at the timestamp of the video. 41 is actually 14. Okay? Now, the first line that they come out with is what? Hold the line.
Okay.
Only one post on all of the boards, September 14th, 2020, mentions hold the line. Post 4714. And what does it say? Hold the line, writers. Justice is coming. Now, I find this really important because when we start to analyze the timestamps, the first timestamp we get is 1637, right, Alpha?
Right.
Okay, let's go to 1637. I got it pulled up right here. So you can pull this up right now. Okay, so hold the line, writers. Justice is coming. This is 4714, okay? The timestamp is, you remember that last post we were talking about, Iran nuke deal?
I do.
Didn't Netanyahu just join in with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago after Zelensky left, and Donald Trump authorized Israel to strike ballistic missile facilities in Iran if intelligence shows that they're rebuilding again? So that's kind of interesting in context.
Give him the green light.
Yeah, we go in here, and this actually talks about North Korea. But it says right here, North Korea, fake news, UK origin. Huh. What's going on between the UK and the Trump administration right now? There's a lot of problems because, number one is you've had 3 Russian generals assassinated over the course of the last 3 months. You just had an assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin's life. Plus, you've had Ukrainian missiles flying into Russia, taking out the power supplies. Well, guess what? Those aren't Ukrainian missiles. Those are Storm Shadow missiles from the UK. And guess what? Just like Tomahawk missiles, Ukraine doesn't have the capability to fly them, which means that UK military is the one who is launching those missiles. This is why Sergei Lavrov just came out the other day and said that any British soldiers in Ukraine are targets. Okay? So North Korean already began the nuclearization process under guidance from the U.S. Rapid. Why are these people always being moved around? Think strategy. But this is the part that I want you to understand about that timestamp. The plan.military op. The plan military. Hold the line, writers. Justice is coming. The plan military op. It's almost like they're communicating with us. But then you have another timestamp that goes directly in correlation with this, which is 437, the non-military time frame for it, right?
Correct.
Pull this one up. December 23rd, 2017, underground Iranian nuclear missile facility, right? From a James Bond movie. But what does it say? Iran nuke deal. Isn't that what we just had on those other timestamps?
It is.
Wait, hold on. Remember what we were talking about with Wiener's laptop? Look at this one.
Hillary Clinton and the SAPs.
SAP's private. Oh my goodness. Money in the pockets. Eye of Ra. Left eye marker. Symbolism. Evil. Stupid. And then?
Justice.
I'm telling you right now. 2020. I had my show last night and I called it the 2025 PSYOP. And the reason I called it the 2025 PSYOP is because the one part of the Q operation we all knew was psychological warfare, but you have to remember disinformation is necessary. And this is what we've been told by Flynn. This is what we've been told by Trump through various different comms. That they needed us to go along with the PSYOP. They needed MAGA to be fractured, to be at each other's necks of not seeing justice. They needed massive amounts of disinformation flooded through the new alternative media. Why? Because you can't just confuse your enemy while everybody else knows what's going on. You have to confuse everybody all at once, even your allies. You have to ensure that if you're going to PSYOP your enemy, that everybody has to be PSYOPed at the same time, especially when this is a global operation. And the last 11 and a half months have been one big fucking PSYOP. Now, I am one of the biggest critics of Pam Bondi, of Susie Wiles. I don't like them. And I've been very verbal about this. But when we get down to the nitty gritty, and I think I said this on Q After Hours, there is no way in absolute hell that Susie Wiles, as smart as this woman is, rising up to the chief of staff of the president of the United States, being around politics and fake news for as long as she has, is going to do an 11-month interview with Vanity Fair that Donald Trump introduces her to the editors of Vanity Fair to do the interview specifically. And she's going to give off all of this information that basically shows the Trump administration is unorganized, is incompetent, is complacent, has no idea what they're doing. They are completely unaligned with each other. She did that intentionally. And understanding that she did that intentionally, we begin to see a bigger picture of what formulated over 2025. And when we start to see that the foundation of the globalist empire has began to crumble, that you can't go out there and just say, hey, we just took office in January 20th, 2025. Let the arrest begin, and go out there and arrest Barack Obama and James Clapper and John Brennan and all these people. You can't do that. Why? Because the globalist infrastructure was still in place. They would have just replaced those puppets with new puppets. So you had to systematically begin dismantling all of these intermediary systems at the same time. What do I mean by that? Doge coming in and cutting USAID, cutting off funding for foreign NGOs, transnational organizations, for foreign countries who were taking US dollars in and funneling various different social agendas around the world, color revolutions. That was first and primary. I called that phase one, cutting off the money supply and the funding. And this was a massive hit into the face of the globalists. But at the same time that was happening, we didn't know that Susie Wiles is giving this interview with Vanity Fair, which is nothing more than the Devil Wears Prada sitting over at Vanity Fair. This is a globalist mouthpiece. And they're getting this information back on the back end saying, they don't know what they're doing. Susie Wiles is just spilling the beans. We have enough dirt to ruin all of them right now. So the globalists say, okay, we can rebuild this infrastructure after the midterms. We can frame Trump now with the Epstein information, because we destroyed all the incriminating documents from 2020 to 2024 and 2018 into 2020. So we can destroy Donald Trump by pushing in this and propagating this and getting this out. So they continue with their psyop. They don't attack Donald Trump. They don't do assassination attempts. They don't come after him just yet. But this whole time, Donald Trump is systematically dismantling their infrastructure and their base. We have D-Class that comes out that completely incriminates the deep state globalists, George Soros, NGOs. What happens? Nothing. James Comey gets indicted. Past the statute of limitations. Lindsay Halligan wasn't appropriately placed in her position. That was Pam Bondi's fault. And James Comey gets off. Patriots are pissed. Well, to the deep state, to the globalists, this looks like they're winning. This looks like everything that they're doing is holding off to the midterms and aligning in their direction. And if we look at the last year, it has been. But that's just surface level. Because when you look at behind the scenes of what's actually occurring, you have to understand how pissed off the globalists were when Donald Trump pulled the rug on the EU and Europe with his national security strategy. He basically told Europe, we're no longer funding you militarily. We don't give a shit about your proxy wars. We're not going to help you. Economically, you're a small fly. You have no relevance to us whatsoever. We're going to focus on building a multipolar world. And if you want to be a part of it, then fix yourself and get yourself up to the stature of first world countries. That's basically what he told them. And what did they do? They immediately start attacking Russia, calling for World War III to break out, arming and preparing NATO countries for World War III. That's interesting. Then they take seized Russian central bank funds through Euroclear, European Union, and they go to the EU and they say, hey, we're going to use these funds for the war effort. Because you got to remember, they're giving billions of dollars directly to Ukraine every month. Well, Hungary and a few other countries step in and say, no, you can't do that. We're vetoing that motion. Well, they changed the rules at the last minute, overruled the veto of Hungary and other countries, and then reallocated those funds to be used for the war effort. Why? Because they already allocated the profits of the investments of those funds that were being held in Euroclear of Russian central bank assets to fund Ukraine. They're already $200, $300 billion down the road in the debt of those funds that they utilize and seize from Russia because they thought they were going to win the war. So Trump calls them out on this and says, hey, you know those funds that you just voted on that used for the European war or for the Ukraine war? I want to bring that into the negotiation with Russia and give that back to Russia as a kind of a benefit to bring about a ceasefire. This is how Trump operates. He's dismantling the globalist system. Right now, we have, so who tried to assassinate Putin? MI6. This is British intelligence people. Who's shooting Storm Shadow missiles into Russia? This is Britain. This is the European Union. Okay. Why? Because they are on their last life bread. They are done. And this is your globalist world order. This is the Western New World Order that was formulated. This is the ones that called the shots of the deep state here in the United States of America. When you go now to China, when you go to Iran, when you go to North Korea, who was controlling them? Well, we think it was the U.S. deep state, but really, I mean, Iran is a fictitious entity created by years of British intelligence influence. I mean, this is nothing more than control of resources and regions through the British Empire that slowly and quietly still acquired land and title and resources through psychological and physical kinetic warfare and color revolutions throughout the world. When we think of Jeffrey Epstein and how he was an implementation of intelligence agencies, we're learning this. Mike Benz had some great information about this the other day. He was saying, hey, Jeffrey Epstein worked with BCCI Bank when he was at Bear Stearns, and he embezzled billions of dollars through Aden Khashoggi and other criminal elites. And I said, 2 weeks prior to this, I was on this show saying Jeffrey Epstein was an intermediary financial handler. He went in with the criminal elite, and he was the man who moved the criminal elite's money from human trafficking operations to arms trafficking and drug trafficking into legitimate business infrastructures. And the deep state intelligence apparatus would take their share, he would take his share, and those people would get paid off. And then Mike Benz comes out and confirms everything I fucking said. Why? Because George Soros, once you start to look into this, was recruited by MI6 to do the same thing right after World War II. And
I was going to say, and the thing is that type of operation is not going to be done in a pair. At a minimum, there should be a third one out there. I would venture to say there's probably dozens, but at a minimum, you know that there's going to be a third one that's there. Before we get too far from it, and I want to see if you can, if this can flow into what you've been kind of teaching us about right now, is to bring us back to how this conversation originated with this photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So today, quite a few people, including my little brother, said that picture is from the Times of Israel. And I said, that's pretty important. So I went and I researched the Times of Israel. And hold on, let me pull this off screen because I don't want to pull up the wrong one first. Okay, so this is all right. So I go and I pull up the Times of Israel, and I'm like, oh shit, it is that photo. There's the photo. But then as I looked at it, I said, no, it can't be, because this photo
doesn't have the 9/11.
Has it cropped out like what you said. So then I kept digging. I said, well, where did they get the photo from? And I found it. The photo actually comes from Israel News. And it says wind turbines in Israel kill many more birds, bats than expected. And what do you have there?
What year is that?
That is 9/11, 2017. Timestamp is 1536. But even more interesting is the date that this was written by Zafir Renat was December 20th, 2017. So it's a 10-day difference between today's date and that date. So 9/11, 2017 with the 1536 timestamp. So when you go back to Trump's post, and I'll bring us back to this one, it has 9/11 and it crops out the year. But again, the actual photo comes from this article, and this, if you guys want to go look for it yourself, I'll drop the link in the chat. But it comes from haaretz.com, and that's HAARETZ.com. And it says a falcon killed by a wind turbine in Israel.
A falcon.
Yeah, they do.
Not bald eagles.
Not bald eagles.
It's not even in America. It's in Israel.
It's in Israel. a 9/11 timestamp, the photos from Israel. Whoever clipped this photo, or downloaded it and saved it to post it on Trump's Truth, which Trump has said that that's him that does it. Well, then you would know that the photo distinctly tells you that it is a falcon, not a bald eagle. But again, I found that pretty interesting. This photo, and shout out to my little brother who's watching tonight. When I first saw it, that actually looks out in the area that I live in SoCal. I was like, is this from our area? So, when he sent me his search history, what he was looking for, I actually, was thinking the same thing. But no, this is from Israel, and there you go. So you have the date of the article.
More interesting, isn't it?
It
I was
is,
just,
bro. It is.
Now, I was just talking about this the other day, or actually today on my show, and I was saying this is that we use a lot of generalizations as Americans when we talk about different things, like America's warmongers. No, it's the military industrial complex that's warmongers, not Americans. Or Jews control the world. No, Jews don't control the world. They control various parts of industry, and they control the majority of various parts of industry, but not all of industry, and not the whole world is controlled by Jews. And the Euro elite is a great example of that. But the funniest one I hear is the Jews control Trump. Now, I know that he gets $250 million from Miriam Adelson, right? And that Sheldon Adelson, obviously Mossad and very well connected into the intelligence circles, supporter of Israel, IDF, all of it. I know, guys. I know the history. I've researched this as well. But I want you to see something. Netanyahu's whole political career right now, whether he does jail time or he stays the leader of Israel, is in one man's hand, and that's Donald Trump's. Okay? As in, Donald Trump isn't working for Israel. Israel is working for Donald Trump. Now, one thing I'll point you to is Butler, Pennsylvania. You remember when Butler, Pennsylvania happened?
I do.
And the Biden administration immediately came out and said, Hezbollah is behind this. Hezbollah's elite unit 910, which I had been talking about for a long time, was behind this, right? Now, what's interesting about that is the day of Butler, Pennsylvania, Donald Trump had a phone call from a certain individual. And I have a whole episode, a whole clip of this where I called this like a fucking champ. RF Kennedy Jr. went out there and posted a video on his on his X account. His son, he claimed, actually posted the video. He had a videographer that was videotaping him. He was on a conversation with Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, you can hear talking about how Joe Biden called him immediately after Butler, Pennsylvania. He's in the hospital, laying in a bed, and Joe Biden calls Donald Trump. And he goes, we talked like two friends that hadn't talked in years. And I said right then, Joe Biden's going to be stepping out of the race. Kamala Harris is going to get endorsed. It's going to be the end of the Democrats, and Trump's going to win the election. I said that right then and there. Okay. Now, that's exactly what happened. That's why I called it. But the Hezbollah thing is one of the other keys to this. Because now you find out that Biden DOJ was investigating Hezbollah's assassination attempts on Donald Trump. Well, what happened 2 weeks after that? You had the pager attack on Hezbollah. Hezbollah's whole leadership, over 122 people, were systematically eliminated within a matter of 2 weeks by Israel on one of the most highly advanced and strategic military operations ever that take place on this planet. I will admit that 100%. What Israel did to Hezbollah was absolutely epic.
Scared the shit out of a lot of people, too.
It did. Now, here's the thing. 2 months ago, Benjamin Netanyahu, and I'm not a supporter of Benjamin Netanyahu. I think this guy should be locked up in jail. But Benjamin Netanyahu, about 2 months ago, came out and said, he goes, when we were doing the Hezbollah operation and we took out Hezbollah and we cut the head off the snake, he goes, we coordinated this. And we got the permission directly from President Trump at that point in time in Mar-a-Lago. And you have to go back and listen to that. But what did he say?
Got permission.
He said that President Trump is the one who directed it and gave the permission to go ahead and do the operation.
Doesn't sound like he's controlled.
And he was not in the presidency. He was in Mar-a-Lago. He wasn't elected yet. He was running as a candidate. And Benjamin Netanyahu was taking orders directly from President Trump. I want you to think about that real clear, because that's showing you that Netanyahu is even acquiescing. Remember, the Iran-Israel war could have went much, much further. Israel was ready to take it much, much further. Donald Trump ended it. Donald Trump has kept Netanyahu and Israel at bay to the point where we currently have a 2 to 3 state solution being negotiated right now between Gaza, the West Bank, and Israel, which is something that Netanyahu said he would go to nuclear war over, but it's happening. Okay?
And look at the playbook that's unfolding right now too, right here in the States. Because you got to remember, the deep state still had their timeline of how things were supposed to operate. So they're color revolutionaries, they're operatives, they're kinetic soldiers that are stateside on here in the U.S. What are they doing? Everybody's trying to push the religious wars. Now, granted, there isn't a real life concern with Islamic extremism. Absolutely. But this picture is supposed to look different. Right now, you're seeing the conversations surrounding Islamic extremism and Muslim Brotherhood. That's 100% being controlled by General Flynn. He's pointing people that this is a thing, and he's doing it without allowing them to turn it into chaos, from turning it into, the movie in New York City where I can't remember it, with Denzel Washington, and they get all the Muslims and put them in these these camps. And, God, someone in the chat will have to tell me the name of that movie. It's such a great movie. I think Michelle Pfeiffer comes out in it too, but regardless, it's a great one. As a matter of fact, I think there's a post that has a clip from that movie too. Someone in the chat's going to come through. They know which one I'm talking about. I want to say Bruce Willis is in it. Denzel Washington's in it. Michelle Pfeiffer's in it. It's a great. Oh shit! That movie is during the time of the Super Bowl.
Oh, interesting.
If I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I watched it. Somebody in the chat come through. I haven't seen anybody post it yet. What movie?
I don't remember what movie it is.
I'll look it up if the chat doesn't come through right now. But if I remember correctly, because they're getting ready for football tickets to the Siege. Yes, the Siege. That's what it was. The Siege. If I remember correctly, that's football season when that went down. And the Super Bowl specific. Yes. See, because there was snow in the background and all that. So if they were referencing a championship game, that would have been football. So
that betting, yep. So
here's something I want to add to you, just to incorporate into you, because before we leave this photo. So while you were educating on all this, on that stuff, oops, and Josh hit the wrong button right there. So he will be back in just a second. So while we await his return to come back, I was very interested in, I wonder what this timestamp looks like. He's probably gonna have to log in too. Actually, that's probably what happened, since he would if it wouldn't have booted him since he wasn't logged in. But and that, folks, that is how we save the world. That is
miss.
Oh, bro.
And that's how we say, what the hell did I miss?
Just, you have to go back and watch the replay, bro. You can't make me repeat all that, bro. But here's what I said. I wanted to go back in this timestamp. I was like, let me present this timestamp to Josh and see if it makes sense. So if we just go off the timestamp for what it is, right, not convert it to East Coast time, which I did, but if we just go off the timestamp, it is at 15:36, right, 3:36 p.m. It takes us to this post. It's a June 17th post.
Father's Day.
Yes. And so, not sure if anything there makes sense, but the thing that caught my attention is the enjoy the show, because you had Scavino. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it says must be all original picks.
Oh.
You had to go to the original pick to get the time.
Find that timestamp.
For a LARP, be sure to get a must be all original pick 7 Delta today. And interesting enough that we looked at the Delta between that and the White House post, and it was 107. How many days in a week? Enjoy the show. So is he trying to hint that 1 week could be pretty epic?
+7 POTUS. How many days in a week? 7. So he keeps referencing the 7 and enjoy the show. And you do have Scavino that posted the picture of the popcorn with the smiley face today.
Oh, he did. He did.
Yeah,
Get your popcorn.
Which is another one we still got to get into. So, all right, I'm trying to shrink. Oh, there we go. So that's the military time. If we go into the date, so before we get into the East Coast time, because I did the conversion, remember that article was posted on the 20th. So if we go to there, there's only 12 posts. I'll run through them real fast unless you see something that you want me to pause on. 3709 says the Jerusalem Post the Jerusalem Post breaking. 2638 says chemical attack in Syria, public pullout of troops in Syria. History will not repeat itself this time. Dark to light, those you are taught to trust most. 2036 Alice and Mad Hatter. 37 Rogers departure, Intel, Sessions departure, Law, Cali departure, warfare military, Mattis departure, warfare military, notice a pattern. 2635 again is another dark to light. 34 brings up the New York Post. Acting Attorney General doesn't have to recuse himself from the Russia probe. Old news. 20 brings up one of 22. It brings up the breach dossier, the clowns. We've talked about that one a few times. And I think there's 2 left.
And then this is just a post over the last week?
No, these are just the December 20th posts from the article. Remember that article with the
gotcha.
Was posted on 12/20. So I was just going through that to see if there was anything here that might have.
I want to show you something. You're gonna freak at this. You're gonna love this.
Hold it real quick. Hold it. The last one I'll show you is, again, just to make sure everybody knows where we're going with this. 1536. That's local time Israel. So if we convert 3:36 p.m. Israel time, that's 8:36 a.m. Eastern time. So post 8:36 is a March 4th date that says expand your thinking. Who leaked Vault 7 to WL? Who returned fire? And then through the different missions. You have all that. So with that, I will turn it over to you now and bring you over.
Now, number one is I told you should have texted that one guy, right? Go ahead and pull this down. All right. This is your post, right?
Correct.
This is your post. You did a nice little video with this.
I did.
Did you just see who reposted it?
I didn't. Whoa, bro. No way.
I just wanted to put that out there because I knew you'd love that.
Thank you, sir. Wow.
I told you I should have texted him.
Oh, I'll have to reach out to his people and say, sir, we want you on the show again. Oh. Wow. Thank you for that, brother. I feel like it was my freaking birthday.
I know. That's awesome.
That was a heartfelt one, man.
And he did it right when you're live on the air. General, just text if you want to come on.
General, open invitation, sir. Open invitation.
As always.
Educate us, correct us. You know how much we respect you. That's cool. Maybe depending how long the show goes, I'll play that video for you guys.
Yeah, we can play it at the end. I think it's a great message for everybody. Now going into what we're talking about here. So number one is we have to look at the last year as such, as this is preparation for the big game. This was setting the stage. This was chess, right? There is no 4D chess. There is no 5D chess. Trump, there's only 4D chess. This is disinformation. This is misinformation. This is misdirection. Remember, every time Flynn's came on here the last year, what has he said? This is he reminds us, unrestricted warfare. Anything goes.
And just so people understand, unrestricted warfare is the most dangerous warfare that exists.
Yep.
Because whoever is playing by those rules is no rules. There's no Geneva Convention. It is the most dangerous warfare that exists. An evil, I'm not talking about good guys that are going to do unrestricted warfare. Bad guys that are willing to do unrestricted warfare, they don't care what happens to kids, the elderly, the disabled, the long-term damage. It's warfare at any cost to win or ensure everyone is destroyed in the process.
100%. And so when he's telling us that, you have to apply it to his message as well. That what he's doing, bringing the importance out of the Muslim Brotherhood, the Islamic infiltration, how Islamicism and communism, socialism are the same thing. They are the same weapon wrapped by the same enemy that are being perpetuated on America. This is so critically important. The pressure being applied to Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles and the Trump administration. Tomorrow, General Flynn is going out on Alex Jones and he's putting a message out to President Trump. Okay. And I bet you the message is going to be, put me in, coach. I'm ready. I'm ready to serve. Bring me in. It's time. I think that's going to be his message. I don't know. But it's also going to be exactly a reiteration of the message that he's put out over the past few weeks and months is that, sir, we need a rest. Like, this needs to happen. And this needs to happen now because we are losing time. And Trump signified today through comms, it's coming. It's coming. And I even had a prediction earlier. I said, look, one of the things that we could potentially see is that right around May, June timeframe, right before the primaries occur, that you get the arrest. Because what is more devastating to the blue wave that they're expecting than Democrat congressmen being indicted in federal RICO cases, in embezzlement cases, in treason cases? Because immediately...
It's the reason Trump, when I say allowed, he allowed the process to be the process. It's the reason he allowed himself to be arrested and have a mugshot. Because it was them that set that precedent. There's no narrative. There's no narrative.
Unrestricted warfare.
Recognize against what Josh is describing right now, where nobody from our side can be like, you literally arrested our president. What are you talking about?
Yep. So that we could see a lot of that happen in and around election timeframe. And I think that's very plausible, but I think that we're going to see it much sooner. But there's something else brewing here. And I don't know if people were tracking this. And I think that this is another key component to all of this, because I don't know. Look, I have not followed the Candace Owens stuff. And there's a reason why I'm not following it. The reason I'm not following it is because there is so much bullshit being propagated on all sides. I'm just staying out of it. Okay. So number one is that information that Candace Owens has brought up has been relayed to the FBI, and the FBI supposedly is involved with some of this stuff. Whether the whole stuff that she's saying with this last guy is, I don't care. I don't know, but she's trying to investigate things. That's just the way I look at it. But there's a bigger key here that I think everybody's missing. Number one is you have Thomas Crooks. Thomas Crooks was a lone shooter that tried to attempted assassination of Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. You have Ryan Ruth, who was the Mar-a-Lago shooter. You have Tyler Robinson, the Charlie Kirk shooter. All of these guys were lone shooters. Now, Ryan Ruth, if you remember, he said that he was trained by the U.S. military, not in the U.S. military. He was trained by the U.S. military. He worked for the CIA. Right? Slava, Ukraine. He was a recruiter for the Ukrainian armed forces. And he claimed that he was put up to this from all that. Remember, half of his testimony is classified. Today, the FBI declassified a letter written by Vince Luther Bolter.
Yes.
The Minnesota shooter that killed Congresswoman Holter and was going after Amy Klobuchar and stuff. I'm going to read a part of this letter for you. This was a letter directly to Kash Patel. Okay. He goes, my name is Dr. Vince Luther Bolter. I am a shooter at large in Minnesota involved in the shooting the morning of Saturday, June 13th at approximately 2:30 to 3:30 a.m. and around these areas. I'll probably be dead by the time you read this letter. I wanted to share some info with you that you might find interesting. I was trained by the U.S. military people off the books starting in college. I have been on projects since that time in Eastern Europe, North America, and Middle East and Africa. all in the line of duty of what I thought was right and in the best interest of the United States. That is someone recruited into the Central Intelligence Agency, getting the appropriate levels of training, Peace Corps, whatever, and sent, just like Ryan Ruth also claimed.
Now, let me add something before you continue on, because this is something that nobody's mentioned, because nobody's thinking in this term, because I was a cop. I was a detective. I worked homicides. There's a thing known as a dying death declaration.
Yep.
And when you go, you know, I arrived to a shooting scene. There's a dude, he's bleeding out. I know this guy's dead in the next 30 seconds. And so I tell him, hey, man, what happened? And he provides me that statement. That is what we consider a dying death declaration, something that I can testify to because of how I heard it. But here's the thing of why that statement is given and weighed so heavy, because it's a statement. Because let's say that the paramedics get there and they stop the bleeding, then the dude doesn't die. It was his thought at the time was he's going to die. And this is the statement he made, knowing it'd be one of the last things, if not the last thing he says. The court weighs that statement very heavy, and that's communicated to the jury. The jury understands this through the jury instructions. So when this guy says, I'll probably be dead by the time you read this, this is the argument can be made here. This is the written version of a dying death declaration, almost like a suicide note. And just so people understand, this has a lot of weight to it when it comes to the courts.
Yep. So then he says, recently I was approached about a project that Tim Walz wanted done, and Keith Ellison was also aware of the project. That's the Attorney General in Minnesota. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, wanted me to kill Amy Klobuchar and Tina. You can't read out the name. Tim wants to be senator, and he doesn't trust Amy to retire as planned, and this is meant to stay in the last mile with Amy and Tina gone. Tim would get one of the open Senate seats, and then Keith Ellison would be rewarded a lucrative governor position. He goes, I told Tim I wanted nothing to do with it and that I didn't call off that plan. I would go public. He said he would call it off himself and if I didn't play ball. Then he set up a meeting with me and so-and-so to take care of me when I refused. They had some people waiting to kill me. I was able to get away by God's mercy. So I went back a short time later and shot back at so-and-so. You should notice, he says right here, you should notice how I didn't fire any rounds at police officers.
Which
Because
is what I want to bring this up. As a matter of fact, I think we talked about it. I said, it's very interesting that he had the drop on the cops and he never shot at them. That stood out to me. That was one of those things where it's like, the dude has the drop on them. He knows that if he's caught, this is probably a death penalty case. So you're fighting for your life and you don't shoot at the cops.
He says, cops were pulling up right next to me in unmarked vehicles, and I had an AK pistol across my lap, and I could have left a pile of dead cops, but I did not. He goes, if you think I'm making this up, just get on the phone with Tim Walz and say you have a few questions for him. Then ask Tim Walz if he knows me and see what he says. He says he doesn't know me or never met me. Look in the files and you'll see that Tim personally approved me to be on his governor's workforce. Bridges are the business representatives. He's probably trying to destroy that note, but it is public record. Then ask Tim Walz why he kept the shots silent from the media when they first happened. Not a word in the press, and why. Why? They needed to get their stories figured. Remember how there was a massive delay in releasing the information about who the shooter was? And it was Minnesota that was holding that up. He said because they needed to get their story straight. So what you're seeing here and why I think Butler, Pennsylvania, the FBI came out and said, I was a lone shooter. Why they say Tyler Robinson is a lone shooter and why parts of Ryan Ruth's stuff is classified and what you're going to find out about this. What you're looking at is a deep state intelligence assassination hit squad. People recruited directly out of high school, directly in college, that are given a little bit of military training, learn how to shoot a gun. They're said, hey, you're doing a service to your country. We're going to have you go in there and work some operations. And this is what we need you to do. Oh, this is for the best of your country. They radicalize them. They bring them in and they do this. They have Ryan Ruth. They have Vince Bolter. Guys, this is huge. This will bring down that whole apparatus. This is making people shit their pants at night. And one thing to understand is the fact that Tim Walz had the capability to access that network and grab an assassin to kill out his political opponents? What was Tim Walz just doing? Oh, he ran for vice president with Kamala Harris. He was part of the Biden. Now you start to put two and two together. Because if you can find a connection between Vince Bolter, Ryan Ruth, and Crooks, now you have the Biden administration. Now you have the Biden CIA or the deep state intelligence apparatus right where you want them. And I think that this is one part that's coming out.
It is. If I put my detective hat on and go back to working homicide and I see a letter like this and I look at this guy and then I start to, go in and dig through his background to see what skill level he has when it comes to tactics, shooting, etc. And I see this letter as a detective, my hunch, because it all starts from a hunch. My hunch is this guy thought they were going to find that the bad guys would find him and kill him before he could tell his story. And so he creates this letter addressed to Kash Patel. So in the event of his death, it's there. He then goes on the run, not because he's trying to evade police, because he's trying to evade the death squad that wants to kill him so he can't talk. But he does it in a way where he allows himself to be tracked and caught, by the FBI, by the ones that aren't going to try to kill him, that are going to actually try to apprehend him. And now, if we think there was details in that letter, I guarantee you what he's provided far outweighs that.
Yep.
Far outweighs that.
So, and he even says here, so it's kind of misconstrued, but he goes, I told Tim I wanted nothing to do with it and that I didn't call off that plan. I would go public. He said he would call it off himself if I didn't play ball. Then he set up a meeting with me and so-and-so and so-and-so to take care of me when I refused. They had some people waiting to kill me. I was able to get away by God's mercy, so I went back a short time later and shot back at these people. I don't think he's talking about when he was saying I didn't want to do this. I think he's talking about after he made the first assassination attempt, they tried to kill him. And he shot back. And we know that there were shots fired reported like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning that morning outside of all of this. So they had a hit team waiting there for him. So this is really interesting because this is uncovering a dark, dark side of the intelligence assassination apparatus. Remember a few years back, there was talk about assassination squads. Yep. And they were actually aligning this with Flynn for some reason. But there's assassination squads that basically are former, SOF operators and so forth that operate with intelligence agencies. They drive around and they will take somebody out and they'll set it up to look like somebody else. And they operate in the United States of America. That's very real. That actually does happen. And what you're witnessing is probably lone actors that were groomed for these assassin spots specifically that have gotten caught. They weren't able to take these guys out. And so this is going to be really interesting with them now in the control of Trump's DOJ and FBI. Let's see what happens.
It's going to be fire, bro. Even what was the guy's name from Trump Tower with the Tesla truck and the explosion?
Oh, Matthew Leifelsberger. Yeah. I did a whole expose on that story.
Well, and you have didn't they say that they confirmed that not manifesto?
This is manifesto. Yeah,
it is manifesto that they confirmed that it was real. I want to say it was a few weeks ago.
So there's a lot of stuff coming out. So number one is the FBI just a few weeks ago released a manifesto saying this was Matthew Leifelsberger, who by the way was a Green Beret Special Operation Forces. Okay. Anybody who doesn't know, on January 1st, 2025, Matthew Leifelsberger went in front of Trump Tower. His Tesla truck exploded, killing himself. They said that he blew his head off with a 50 cal pistol before it all happened. And I have a lot of questions because this is not what the official narrative was. They said at the time that when they got there and they went into the vehicle, that on his cell phone was his manifesto. And his manifesto was like, the Biden administration is killing America and that these people are destroying all the values. I wanted to be a public figure to come out there and bring this issue to people to save America and all this stuff. And that was the original manifesto. And this is what the FBI just released recently. But what they didn't know is that Matthew Leifelsberger, Green Beret, Special Forces, he had other intentions because he had left Colorado, went down to New Mexico, through Arizona, came up into California, and then went over to Las Vegas. And he claimed that he was being followed. How do we know this?
Do you know he drove right through my neck of the woods?
Oh, I do. So he messaged a whole bunch of popular veteran podcasters days before all this happened. And he sent them an email listing what happened to him. He goes, hey, I'm just in town from Germany. I'm stationed in Germany. I flew in just for the holiday, and someone tried to kill me. Then he says, he goes, anybody who knows me will know that my first car was a black 2006 Ford Mustang. Well, that's the problem. His wife came out and said his first car was a 1998 red Ford Mustang, which is a clear indication from a special operation forces guy that he's under duress, that he is in a situation of duress, that he believes that someone thinks he's compromised, is just trying to kill him. And he comes out in this statement and says, someone tried to kill me. So I went out there, I rented a car, I got some guns, and I'm trying to save myself, and I'm trying to figure out, why are they trying to kill me? Then he goes on to say, the New Jersey drones, these aren't drones. These are anti-gravitic technology. How do I know? Because I work on the special operations team in Germany who's working on these projects, monitoring them countering it with our own anti-gravitic drones. And then he says, you don't believe me? Go check my record. In 2014, in the Green Berets, he was a test member of Special Operation Forces that tested high-level technology directly for defense organizations and companies. And then he got trained in drones throughout this whole time, and then goes to Germany to work on this special access program. Then he says it's either that is one of the reasons they're trying to kill me, or the other reason is because in 2019, I was a whistleblower for a genocide that the Trump administration ordered us to commit in an attack that we did. He goes, I don't know which one it is, but they're trying to kill me. And then he says that they can hack my car. He says all this stuff. Then he parks his car in front of Trump Tower. So my thought is, after reviewing everything, I did a whole post on this. It's on my Substack. That Matthew Leifelsberger's plan was to park the car in front of Trump Tower, wait till nobody was around, get out and blow it, and then turn himself in the moment authorities came and tell them the story. Why? Because at that point in time, it's national news and they can't kill him. They can't take him out and he preserves his life. But what happens? The moment he parks the car, they blew it up remotely because he had a remote detonator. They used his phone. His phone was going to be the remote detonator. They hacked his phone, remote detonated it. And the clear indication of that is that the manifesto that he wrote was on Signal. And his Signal timeline actually changed. Their Signal passcode changed moments before he was killed. This same deep state intelligence apparatus killed that guy.
I'm with you on that.
Now, why did they kill him? I don't know. But it sounds like they thought maybe he was talking to a buddy in special forces like, dude, I'm working on anti-gravitic technology.
I think it's because he told all these podcasters like Sean Ryan and these others something that was true, because you can verify what you're saying to get their attention. But there was probably something else he's actually going to disclose. He probably knows exactly why they were going to kill him, and he didn't want to put it on a message. He that's something he probably wanted to tell Cash or somebody like that directly, and they knew it. You know, whoever was monitoring him knew, no, this guy is going to spill the beans on door number 3, and we're going to kill him now. Like this isn't going any farther than that.
He's a national security threat. Take him out.
Well, then
I guarantee it with him.
To bring us back to Trump's video, let me bring this back up. And this isn't as exciting and sexy as the conversation has been thus far, but nonetheless, it was still important to me. We see Trump through the video, and he's wearing his red MAGA hat. But as the video comes to its conclusion, check this out, Josh. He no longer has his hat. And then when we finally see him at the end,
USA.
white hat.
Ah,
That's how they finish
interesting.
it. That is how they finish it.
I like how you caught that because I definitely did not catch that.
Holy smokes.
What's that?
Tamarick Flats.
We got some
I've
Bitcoin.
never seen this before.
Yeah, we
It
got a
flashed
crypto donor.
orange. Did they just tip us Bitcoin?
Yeah, $5 in Bitcoin.
That is dope. I didn't know you could do that. That is so freaking cool. I just saw a big orange flash and I was like, what the heck's that? Because anytime it happens on our computers that's not part of the show or something, it
Right.
got my attention. And I saw this big orange. That was cool. I wish maybe the audience does see in the live chat the way that looked, but that was really cool.
I'm pretty sure they can see that.
That got my attention. Well, then let me get us.
Well, I got a lot more stuff if we want to keep on going.
Oh, I definitely want to keep on going. I just want to make sure that I got all the.
Well, how do we want to transition? I mean, I got so we got to talk about China a little bit. The Q stuff is great. I love this because it's indicative of where we're headed right now. The Minnesota stuff is really, really interesting. I want to say that Nick did not break this story. There is a reporter, the guy that was with him has actually been the researcher and investigator of this story since 2018. It originally broke in 2018, 2019. Nick is just the influencer that's putting it out there. We need to talk about Russia and Ukraine a little bit because of what's happening right there.
Okay, here's I knew I had one more tab regarding the 9/11. So in all the posts, there's only 2 posts that have 9/11 isolated, like not part of a link. I think there's a total of 13 or 14 with 9/11, but they're attached to like links and articles. There's 2 posts that actually have it as text. So let me bring this up on the screen, and then you can tell me if either of these has relevance. The first one is 259, which is a December 5th date, 2017, and it says red 9/11 funds raised versus distributed oversight 710 plane 7 out of 10 plane crashes are targeted kills. Those in the know never sleep. Q. And then the next one comes from 1189, April 19th, 2018. And it's the post within the post. And it says, lads, why would someone connected to 9/11 be in Syria? Pick related, who captured. And then in the actual photo right here, it says, breaking man linked to 9/11 attacks on U.S. captured in Syria. Pentagon says Reuters.
Interesting. Maybe not so much context there, but who knows? We have to watch the news unlocks.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, we'll keep going, brother. I'm totally solid with this.
Well,
because I do have there's somebody in the audience. It was on YouTube. I wish I would have saved their message so I can give them credit. And it was regarding all the New Year's Eve celebrations that are being canceled. And
I did not know that.
I didn't either. So whoever said that on YouTube, I'm monitoring the YouTube chat. Say, hey, it was me. So I can give you credit for that. So I said, well, that's interesting. So I went and did a search because I wanted to verify that was the case. And here we go. Top stories. New Year's Eve. Okay, so it was Kevin the Tech 86 here. Let me give him a little shout out right here on the screen. With his Patrick SpongeBob character. Very cool. So thank you for this, Kev, because I wasn't aware of this. But you got New York Times reporting New Year's Eve concerts at Kennedy Center are canceled after Trump's renaming. You have CNN, lone actors and groups driven by ideology are most significant terrorism threat. And then you have this one, which I found interesting. I brought it up in this tab. Southern California city cancels New Year's Eve bash due to the approaching storm. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. But
interesting.
If you go through the headlines, there's New Year's Eve celebrations.
I saw this post today, and who knows? Maybe we're going to have a booming new year. I think we might. So there's a few things that happened over the course of the last few days that are not concerning, but if you're not paying attention, it's really hard to kind of put it all together. Okay. So Europe, Russia, Ukraine, NATO, that area. is about to enter a new phase after Ukraine, the UK, sponsored an assassination attempt on Vladimir Putin. Trump learned about this after Zelensky left. Zelensky never even told Trump about this. Putin called him and told him about it. Okay. Now, I said right after this happened that Putin most likely will respond in kind and try to take Odessa, checkmate, and then, but he's kind of weary of NATO intervention. So today, Russia started bombarding Odessa. Now, Odessa is the warm water port, the access to the Black Sea. It is Ukraine's only port of entry into the Black Sea. If Ukraine loses Odessa, Ukraine's economy is done. Ukraine is no longer a functioning country if they lose Odessa. And this is why I said that Putin's last move is going to be to take Odessa. But before that, he's going to kill Zelensky, that he's going to assassinate Zelensky. But what we are waiting for is a potential assassination attempt again on Putin. And over the last 3 months, you've seen 3 assassinations of top Russian generals. And we talked about the UK, British intelligence is behind this. So this is really important. Another part, Asia, in Asia. So last week, Trump did an $11.1 billion arms deal with Taiwan. In a message directed towards China, fuck around and find out. This is huge. So you guys want to know why silver is pumping? It's because of Trump's $11.1 billion arms deal to Taiwan. Okay? Trump taunted China, and he said, we're waiting for China to respond. Well, China responded. They responded by putting silver export restrictions. China produces 34% of the global silver supply. China basically said, hey, due to the PLA, People's Liberation Army, we're putting export restrictions. You need a license directly from the PLA to get silver. So for all the bombs and missiles that the United States military and all the satellites and all the space and Western companies use silver for, fuck you is what China just told them. So silver skyrocketing right now is because of China. Don't everything else, just forget about it. It's about China. Okay? Then what's China do? They surround Taiwan with multi-day military live fire exercises 12 miles off the coast of Taiwan. To the point where
let me ask you this, Josh.
Yeah.
Is China saying, are they communicating to Trump?
No, yeah, they just said it today.
They said, I'm not talking about what they're saying at the, and I do want to know what they said, not at the surface level, but I'm talking in the shadow war that's unfolding right now. Are they telling Trump, back the fuck off of Venezuela, stop taking these ships down, and we'll back off Taiwan? You want to play with Venezuela? We're going to play with Taiwan.
So I think that it has a little bit to do with that. Maybe not so much. Basically, China came out today and said, do not give Taiwan a $11.1 billion arms package. And after they surrounded Taiwan with a military embargo, with live fire exercises, Japan started readying for war, sent coast guards to that area. Taiwan Navy is out there shadowing the Chinese Navy. It's like it could go at any moment now. Okay. So that was what's going on there. So why silver skyrocketing is because of that. But if you go back a month and a half ago, back to October, do you remember when China put export restrictions on rare earth minerals and metals out of China and the economy started tanking? This is about a month and a half ago.
I remember because everybody was posting all the red because it was freaking red everywhere.
And
everywhere.
The PLA basically came out and said, hey, we're preserving our rare earth minerals and metals for military use, and you have to have a special license in order to get that. And everybody in the world was like, what are you doing? Well, guess what? Donald Trump went in there. He increased tariffs to 200% on China, and China came back and they negotiated and they released the restrictions. The same thing is going to happen here, which means that that price of silver that's skyrocketing is going to come back down, probably to the 60s or 50 range. So I'm saying, take some profit. Well, you still have a chance. It's not going to go to war, guys. Not yet. We're not ready. We're not there yet. So silver is going to come back down. Now we have Venezuela. Trump began land strikes in Venezuela. They did some tonight. Okay. This is huge.
Which we said.
Yep.
We said you're going to see. We said you're going to see strategic strikes, and they're going to, and he's going to call them the same thing he called them when he did it to the Houthis.
Surgical.
You know, and I said we'll probably even see that start to push closer to Mexico.
Yep. So in Colombia's president came out today and confirmed that more strikes are actually happening today. So this is what I want people to see with this. This is a transitional point that indicates Venezuela could potentially strike back as a claim of attack on their sovereignty. What Trump did by striking inside Venezuela is an act of war against Venezuela. They could strike back at any moment. So this is fair game at this point in time. Now we go to the Middle East. So Trump vows to strike Iran if they begin development of ballistic missiles again, which Israel has claimed that they have, but Trump wanted to verify the intelligence. Immediately after Netanyahu leaves the White House, a color revolution begins in Iran. People are rising. I've been talking about the overthrow of Khamenei for a long time, for the last year. Now it's actually happening. The timing is very specific that it happens immediately when Netanyahu leaves the Mar-a-Lago with President Trump. All of a sudden, protests and riots rise up in the streets of Iran. But that's not all that's going on there. Saudi Arabia and the UAE, two countries that both have defense cooperation and military allied agreements with the United States of America, are in a proxy war in Yemen against each other. Saudi Arabia is calling out the United Arab Emirates for supporting radical Shiite terrorism within Yemen, and they're bombing the shit out of UAE-sponsored terrorists in that region. And they basically told them to stop. So right now, the world's on the brink. It is like just tilting on the act of war. So it's really, really interesting. Now, going into the Russia thing, this is where I wanted to go with this, because this is, I think, the most interesting part of all of this. Now, I talked about how the UK British intelligence,
Want me to bring it
MI6,
up on the screen?
nope, not that one.
Okay.
MI6 is directly behind this assassination attempt on Putin. Now, Putin's not going to go after Europe. He's not going to go after Merz and Keimer and all and Starmer and Kai Starmer and all these guys. He's not going to do that. What he's going to do is he's going to end the proxy war. So from a military perspective, anybody who's attended war college or studied wars throughout the world, war strategies, Vladimir Putin can end Ukraine in less than 24 hours, and he's had that capability since the beginning of this conflict. You have to understand the true reason and purpose for the continuation of this conflict. The allure of battle. There you go.
Now, it's a thick one, folks. But General Quas is the one that said, read this book. So you guys want to understand battle and strategy and tactics, order that book.
Yep. So this is what I want people to see. Donald Trump keeps talking about all the killing, all the killing, all the killing. But who's allowing Putin to keep on coordinating and move in towards Odessa? It's Trump. See, Zelensky is a proxy vassal state. Ukraine right now is a Nazi proxy vassal state for the European Union, for the one world government, socialist globalists, for Britain, for the Crown, for the Netherlands, all of these people. Trump knows this. Putin knows this. The whole war escalation between Putin and Zelensky has allowed to been going on. You got to remember, Biden came in and funded it and funded it and funded it. And Britain was like, yeah, we're going to get them. We're going to get Article 5 eventually. We're going to go in there. We're going to destroy them. Trump immediately came in and said, no more funding. Then he came out and said, hey, NATO, you guys got to pay up to 5%. We're not paying any more. So now Britain and the EU have to basically start putting more money in. This is why Zelensky went to Canada, to Carney, the global banker, the globalist banker, and got $6.5 billion to give the Ukraine. Okay. But where were they getting this money? They're collateralizing frozen Russian assets for this money that they've been paying into Ukraine. In other words, Trump defunded the European war against Russia. Now the Europeans have to pay for it themselves. Well, what does that mean? They don't have the money for it, which means that they're on the verge of financial collapse. And so when a country's on the verge of financial collapse, they're either going to go to war to get that war machine going, to seize the lands and the territories and the minerals and the resources, or they're going to collapse. Well, here's the thing. Putin's been playing appear weak when really strong for the last 3 years. Like I said, Putin could end this in one freaking day. And I think he's about to move on it. I'll bring this post up.
This was interesting, bro.
This is Swan Lake being played on Doomsday radio station unexpectedly began playing Swan Lake. Yes, the same piece broadcast during the Soviet-era political crisis, including the deaths of leaders in the 1991 coup. The music started hours after the Kremlin pledged retaliation for the assassination on Putin. What does that tell me? I've had one strategy that I knew Putin would play eventually. That strategy is take out Zelensky and take Odessa all at the same time. And the reason being is because once you take Odessa and Zelensky's out of the way, it's over. NATO can say, well, he killed and assassinated. Well, yeah, but we have 3 dead Russian generals over the last 3 days, and you guys just tried to kill Putin. So don't play that assassination game. He's going to take out Zelensky, and he's going to take Odessa. What I just showed you today, he already started bombing Odessa, which has not been included much in any of the war over the last year and a half. And this is a critical juncture because if Ukraine loses Odessa, Ukraine loses Ukraine. Now, they're talking about putting U.S. troops as a security agreement in Ukraine. That's not going to happen. Putin's never going to agree to that. What I think we're about to see, and this is Putin's sign, Swan Lake, I think that's Tchaikovsky, is that he's going to take out Zelensky, and that's going to be the end of it. And then Ukraine can have their own elections. He gets the Donbass, just like the original deal came in, and Odessa will be utilized as a leverage point for no further war progression. So he takes Odessa and Zelensky. He takes Zelensky out and takes Odessa. Now the European Union and NATO are going to be like, well, we want war with him. And he can go, well, hold on. I just cut you off to the Black Sea. Now the European Union and Europe goes, okay, well, we need access to that. Now Russia controls it. So we can either go to war with him or Putin can go, hey, I will give you back access to Odessa as long as I'm keeping Crimea. And we just come out with a ceasefire and don't go to war, and we allow Ukraine to have free and fair elections. And that's what's going to happen. I'm telling you.
Let me play that video. It's only 15 seconds, just so the audience can get the essence of this post. This is the one that Josh brought up. Now, one of the reasons I wanted the audience to hear it is because if you follow DEFCON and you stick around for the outros, I'm just going to play about 20 seconds of this, and then you guys can just say, interesting.
You explained it that one time.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. DEFCON 0, DEFCON ZERQ. Maybe we're onto something, bro. Maybe we just get lucky, bro. Maybe it's all just a coincidence, folks. It's all just a coincidence. This is for just entertainment purposes.
Now, the history of that song, by the way, was Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky. One of the most celebrated composers in Russian history, Swan Lake between 1875 and 1876, premiered in 1877 at the Bolshoi Theater in Moscow. The symbolism, the themes of dualism, Odette and Odiel, tragedy, beauty, and fate resonate strongly with Russian literary and philosophical traditions. The music carries a distinctly Russian emotional intensity, melancholy, grandeur, and inevitability. Now, this is where it gets interesting. In 1991, Soviet coup attempt was a last-ditch effort by hardline communist officials to stop the collapse of the Soviet Union and block reforms by Mikhail Gorbachev. It failed and led directly to the end of the USSR and the development of the Russian Federation, which is what Putin now rules over. Now, you got to remember, that's where Putin rose to power. Putin was a direct result of that 1991 coup attempt. He was a KGB agent, one of the head people in the KGB. So then you had Boris Yeltsin. Putin comes in after Yeltsin, right? So really interesting because it's about thwarting the communists' final ploy. It's about stopping the communists' final action, allowing freedom to take place.
Dude, we're a day and a half or less from New Year's, bro. You know, we could do some. I know we do wild predictions on Q After Hours, but we could probably do some tonight since it's the last DEFCON of 2025. Well, then the last thing that we have from the video, the Moto video. Here, let me bring it up so everybody can see it in case those are joining. I was laughing in the chat. Some people were like, wait, what the hell's the show over? Because I played that thumbnail. That's why, so I'm glad I only did it for a few seconds. So if you guys are paying attention when we played this at this part right here, and I don't have it queued up for the audio, but Maximus says right here, unleash hell.
Unleash hell. Yep.
Unleash hell. And the reason I wanted to share that with you guys is because if you go and you search that up in the drops and you come to drop 4230 May 13th, this is boom week ahead, right? And then you go, I'm sorry, 4211 May 11th, and it has old Barack Obama, old BO, and it says the fewer rules a president has, the fewer rules there are for officials to break. And it says, we are ready to unleash hell. Memes ready.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
What post is that?
This is post 4211. Q slow and steady wins the race. We are ready to unleash hell. Memes ready. And I think you could argue that that was definitely a meme video.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. But you have Barack Obama. Do we see that indictment, bro?
That'd be crazy.
Man, I'll tell you what. If we see that, you shut up everybody. You shut up everybody.
Well,
now,
you know what? You
now,
do. And not only that is everybody else comes after that, right?
Yeah. Well, and the thing you got to wait too, as excited as we are for that, the deep state, they're not going to take that sitting down. That is when they get into the full scale unrestricted warfare.
Yep.
And
you have to be ready for that.
You have to. And when we look at everything you're talking about right now, China, Taiwan, Ukraine, Russia, Venezuela, right? You see what's going on in Iran. There's a lot that's on the edge of this straight, like you could argue we're on the edge of World War III. I know a lot of people say we're in World War III. I do subscribe to that idea, but I'm talking like at the normie level. People that are watching Fox and CNN right now are like, man, shit's getting pretty crazy. Wow, because they don't know what you guys all know. You guys are like the advanced soldiers, all you in the audience. But normies are looking like, man, we're really knocking on the door to World War III right now, that's what the deep state would capitalize on, right? And so imagine all this. And remember, don't look through your eyes because you guys are advanced anons, right? You're advanced soldiers. Put your normie shoes on and imagine you're a normie right now and you're watching CNN or you're watching Fox and you see all this and we're on the cusp of all these wars. And then all of a sudden on January 1st or December 31st, you see that Barack Obama's indicted. As a normie, you're going to be like, oh, shit. Stuff is getting wild right now. Like, whoa.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's Barry Sotero. I see someone put it in the chat. I don't want to get too excited because then we get rug pulled. We get rug pulled when we get ahead of ourselves. But one of the things that we've articulated in the past is that when we're about to hit that apex, that's probably the moment when everything looks like it's about to go full-blown chaos. And the white hats, Trump and team would have to have a level of confidence, and they would have to have the word evades me in combat, expected casualty, right? Your expected casualty numbers would have to be something that's acceptable if they're going to pull that card. And Trump said next 48 hours. Now, was he bluffing them to get them to move? Could be.
I think that it's I think they have a time frame in mind, but I think that everything they're trying to do is a big bluff. You got to remember, Kash Patel said by the end of the year, you're going to see arrest. And now Trump says the next 48 hours. I think that it's, what if it wasn't? What if it's January 1st, right?
And Scavino pulled out the popcorn today, man.
But you got to remember, they're watching the comms too.
They are. Let me pull up that Scavino post. So, for those that haven't seen it, I think I have his account. No,
and you remember what was his post the other day, December 27th, where we go when we go all, right?
Ducks. Yeah, with the Ducks. He also reposted the White House one.
Well, it wasn't on X. It was on Facebook, wasn't it?
Maybe that's where it was.
Yeah, it was Facebook Scavino.
Yeah. Let me see. I think I bookmarked it. Let me go to the bookmark so people can see it. Nope, that's the FOIA stuff. Let me go to Facebook. Nope.
Oh, that's why. My battery was unplugged.
I had a joke, but it was so inappropriate. So inappropriate. Dude, I can't find the bookmark post.
I got it right here.
Okay, then you bring it up.
So it was on Facebook. Dan Scavino 22 hours ago on Facebook. With the wink, with the smile. Get your popcorn ready. Now, also interesting about that, get your popcorn ready. Because Friday, Trump is going to deliver on the MAGA promise, is the post. Like I said, 48 hours, but who knows, maybe it's getting Friday.
That's awesome.
Now, the unfortunate part about Facebook is you can't really get timestamps. You can get 20, there you go, 12:34 a.m., so 1:34 a.m. So 1:34, I know that post for some reason. House of Saud, follow the money. The power shift recently occurred. King appointed. Dark the light. Why is this relevant? One side of the triangle removed. First time in history. The other sides are falling. Plus, 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 plus. So he posted it at 1:34 a.m. Let me validate that. 1:34.
And how long's that video?
I can go back and check. The video is 22 seconds.
22. Okay. 1 second. I want to see what that. You have that up already?
Yeah, I got 130. No, I got 134 up.
Okay. I want to bring up 22, see what that.
By the way, it's from November 11/11/2017 for the post.
Oh, here's
Why were events in Saudi Arabia extraordinary? Who was arrested? What will the bank records provide? This is Alois, Teleweed Alois, the crown prince. List names, family history, instruments, ownership stakes, and point-to-point contacts. Aloid Huma, Barack Obama City Group control. Why is this relevant? House of Saud, U.S. control. Follow the money. What power shift recently occurred? Who is a new king appointed? Coincidence, dark the light. Why is this relevant? One side of the triangle removed, first time in history. The other side's failing, plus, 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 plus. So that's a tip out the Soros and then the European dynastical sides. And we also had the dark the light post the other day from Scavino. I didn't go to 21, but I can go to 21 really easy. 21 or 22?
22.
Oh, National Guard. There you go.
And look at the way it ends. The last sentence.
No war, no civil unrest, clean and swift. Biggest drop to be provided. And this was a timestamp the other day as well. What former president used the military to save the republic and what occurred exactly? That would be interesting.
Bro, it seems like
it's happening.
I'm saying, bro, it seems like it. It seems like it. Yeah, because I had some highlights on 22 as well. Well, let me see if Trump has posted.
I actually just refreshed the page to see if Trump posted, but I think he's watching us, so I don't think he's posting because he's still watching the show.
Oh,
I love this shit. Just eating it up, just taking notes.
let me see what these two retards conjure up. Let's see if they make me proud. Let me see if they embarrass me or they make me proud. Oh,
You got to wonder if like Trump or Flynn or Scavino are watching this and they're just like, these guys are fucking idiots, or they're like, man, they're spot on.
we're
like,
making
what
it,
is all this stuff they're doing? This is weird.
guys. It's right there in front of you. Do you need me to spell it out for you? Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Spell it out, please. Jumping through hoops over here. All right, then, since he hasn't posted, he has the Falcons, and then he has the one from 2 hours ago about polls. The polls are rigged even more than the Riders. The real number is, you know what? Let's play with this one. Let's see. Let's just, here, let me bring it up. Maybe there's some theirs. So he starts off with, before we get into the timestamps, he says the polls are rigged even more than the Riders. The real number is 64. You want to grab 64?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's putting the real number is 64. And to continue on, it says, and why not? Our country is hotter than ever before.
Shit.
Isn't it nice to have a strong border, no inflation, a powerful military, and a great economy? Happy New Year. And then the post itself says over 50% of voters approve of President Trump, and he's bringing our attention to 64. So I'll pull this off and let Josh.
Okay, hold on a second here.
Okay.
We remember that we were just talking about that Trump gave us 48 hours. He said something big's going to happen in 48 hours, right?
Correct.
Okay. So this is 64. He says the real number is 64 in this one, right?
Correct.
64, yes?
Yes.
Fellow patriots, I'm being advised actions have created accelerated counteractions. We have not yet ascertained the scope of the attack. Watch the news outlets. POTUS Twitter takedown was not by accident, referenced several hours ago. Should the lights go out, please know we are in control. Do not panic. We are prepared, and assets are in place. God bless. I must go for good at this point. That's huge. But then I want you to go to the timestamp. Okay?
Right, timestamp.
Nope, I got it right here. We got 23... What is it? 9:58, right?
9:58. 21, either 9:58 or 21:58.
Well, I'm just going to go to 9:58. Look at the last line.
Wednesday.
That's
New
the
Year's.
48-hour end. That's the 48 hours.
That's New Year's Eve, bro.
So FBI opened a case Q today. Boom statement, and now the Texas bombings coordinated to end cops. So he's warning.
And
that
they I think it was today. I think it was today or yesterday. They announced they just took down
they
another.
thwarted a New Year's Eve bomb plot in Texas. In Texas. And what did that last message just say? Well, hey, they're counter moving. If lights go out, understand that we're in control. This one, predictable. They're scared 4 a.m. They will fail. We know the details. Wednesday. Now let's go to 21:58. I haven't looked at this one yet. Maybe it's nothing. Oh,
September 11th.
Look at the date.
Bro.
Look at the date.
September 11th, bro.
Panic in DC.
Panic in DC. Dude,
Talk about comms.
If Page and Stroke are the next two indictments.
or it's just an indication of FISA-gate. Obama, like you said.
There's a lot you can pull
Or
out.
Obama, as you said. Right?
Mm-hmm. September 11th.
Wow. The real number is 64. And what does he say? Our country is hotter than ever before.
Yep. And he puts hotter in quotes.
Yep.
The
Wow.
polls are rigged even more than the Riders. The real number is 64. And why not? Our country is hotter than ever before. Isn't it nice to have a strong border, no inflation, a powerful military, and great economy? Happy New Year.
And all four of those parts, stronger border, no inflation, a powerful military, and great economy, are the four keys that have dismantled the infrastructure of the globalists in the deep state. Wow.
I just sent you a private message, which will explain my departure. I'll be back in about 2 minutes, folks.
Oh, goodness. What a... This guy, I'm telling you. Okay. So today I wrote a post, and I want to go over this post just real quick while Alpha is taking care of business every day, taking care of business anyway. Now, with everything that's going on in Minnesota, I think that this is a prompt time to bring out this post because it's the truth and it's how I feel. And I hope that this is the message for America in 2026. I'm going to bring this post up. It's something that I wrote today. And let's read it. Listen up, America. The Somali corruption is the tip of the iceberg. More and more rampant fraud will be discovered, and even worse. This wasn't about making money. It was about destroying America. Here's a reality check. We are not the same country we were 142 years ago. America once needed immigrants. Now in 2025, we don't. This is not cruel or racist. It is just facts. In 1883, when Emma Lazarus wrote, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free," America was barely 100 years old. The country was still building its infrastructure, its economy, and its identity. The labor force was needed to build the nation, and immigrants were essential to that mission. They came in waves, offering their hard work, their skills, and their dreams, and America was better for it. Fast forward to today. America does not need immigrants in the same way anymore. The country's infrastructure is in place. Jobs that once relied on cheap immigrant labor have been replaced by automation, technology, and a more educated workforce. We have an economic system that, for better or worse, has shifted. The idea of immigration as a cornerstone of America's growth has been warped and exploited. The system that once built America is now being used to tear it apart. It's no longer a mechanism for progress. It's a political weapon. What once fueled growth has been twisted into a political machine, exploited for votes, used to bypass the law, and leveraged to fracture the nation. Immigration is no longer policy-driven. It's agenda-driven, with real cost to Americans. America doesn't need unchecked immigration. It needs a system that is unapologetically America first. A system that reflects American values, culture, and character, not one designed to serve political agendas or globalist fantasies of a one-world government. No American should apologize for putting America first or for recognizing that America no longer needs immigration the way it once did. The nation was built through sacrifice, hard work, and blood, and that legacy deserves protection, not political exploitation. If we allow immigration, it should be for the best of the best, fully vetted, law-abiding, and aligned with American values. Living in the United States is a privilege, not an entitlement, and it must remain that way. This isn't about party lines. It's about sovereignty, responsibility, and protecting our future, our resources, and our way of life. The idea of America is bigger than any ideology. And if we fail to defend it, we risk losing what made this nation a beacon of strength and hope. America first, always.
Wish I could have
There are
heard
my thoughts.
Wish I could have heard that whole thing.
I will tag your ass
Thank you.
because you need to repost that.
I absolutely will. And I feel so much better. If this was the Marine Corps, I'd keep a Gatorade bottle around. But this is not that. So I'm trying to be as professional as I possibly can for you folks.
Predictions. I think we're going to see indictments very soon. I'm not putting out a time frame, but I think that by the end of 2026, we will have everything that we've wanted. That's my thought. So, mods, can you let Alpha and Josh know they have just scrambled 8 F-16s over Florida? I haven't heard this. I will check to validate that information.
Yeah, do that, please. And then for you Florida folks, is that something that is unusual? Because there's a whole lot of stuff over there. So I'm curious if that's something that would be considered unusual. I'm not
Massive cap blackout in Argentina. That's not it. And F-16s. Why are we launching F-16s?
Yeah, I was gonna say out of all of them, I'm not finding something on it. Let me
Yeah,
go-
the person who posted that has got a link. Please send that out. That'd be great. If you got a news source or anything like that for it, watch. It's like Fox News, which I wouldn't doubt, right?
All right, so then I will get the Rumble rants ready to bring up on the screen. If you're new to watching DEFCON, we read the Rumble rants at the end of the show, so we didn't forget about anybody. But also, if you left a boost at badlandsmedia.tv website, I'll be reading the boost, if any, following this. I just want to make sure.
And Trump is in Mar-a-Lago, I believe. Yes, Trump is in Mar-a-Lago. So if that did happen, it'd be because of something that's going on at because someone encroached in the airspace of Mar-a-Lago, would be my guess.
Agree with you if that's the case. Someone says it was just done over at HFGS. No, it's something. Anyways, I will get to the Rumble rants, and then if somebody has that link, we'll come back to that because I am curious to it. So we'll start from the bottom, work our way to the top. We got $5 that came in from Miller Biz. I am hooked on this show. Josh, if possible, would you please explain the pardon of Hernandez for me again? I know you mentioned in a previous show, but I need to fully understand.
So he was the president of Honduras, I believe, right? And he was indicted by the Biden DOJ for basically supporting and funding cartels. But the funny thing is that he was actually politically active after being president. He persecuted those same cartels that he was said to have been helping. And afterwards, he was trying to get other politicians to politically go after these cartels when the Biden administration actually indicted him. Trump pardoned him basically because the guy wasn't a bad guy. The Biden DOJ wanted him out of the way because he was getting politicians in his local country to actually stop the cartels.
There you go. Next, $20 coming in from KD Gonzalez. Happy New Year, Alpha and Josh. Happy New Year. Thank you for that, Katie.
New Year.
We got $5 coming in from Lisa Ecker 61. The movie is so awesome. I'm laughing at those who sold their silver. $10 coming in from Sting Tammy. Josh, the bird on the ground dead is a young golden eagle, which are being killed off in large numbers by wind turbines, not a hawk or a falcon.
No, we already confirmed there was a falcon. That was from the Israeli Post. It was a falcon.
They confirmed it.
Appreciate you, Sting, but I already confirmed that one.
$20 coming in from Derek Jono. A couple of weeks ago, someone suggested getting Mount K on your show. God bless whoever that was. When that happens, I will share the shit out of that show. Let's go.
Get Mount K on.
There we go. Yeah, she's good peeps. $2 coming in from Craze34. I Googled the image. Says it's from Syrin, Israel. Syrin, Israel. $20 again from Derek Jano. I'll also screen grab clips from the Mal K show and share them to my 23,000 followers on Instagram at Mr. 805er2. If any patriots want to follow and help me with the trolls, you 2-3 are doing amazing. Much
appreciate it, Derek. Thank you, man.
$2 coming in from Craze34 with the link to Times of Israel. That's regarding the wind farms. We covered that. $20 coming in from Maria Teresa 1776. Hi, Alpha and Josh. Happy belated birthday. Josh, you do have a photographic memory. How do you remember all the details, facts, names, history? Impressive. I can't remember what I ate yesterday.
There is a memory secret to how you put things and structure it in the story. That's how we do it.
He's a genius, folks. That's what it is. He is a genius. He's just too modest to say it. $20 coming in from Smoke Agent So at this point, would we go so far as to say Putin is a white hat?
Yes, I would.
I would say, I definitely consider it at a minimum. He's in an alliance with the white hat. He's part of that sovereign alliance. So, I definitely think so. So, and like I said, if you don't want to say he's a white hat, he's definitely collaborating with them.
Yep.
$20 coming in from Vegas, Deplorable 26, OG homie right here. Happy belated birthday, Josh. We're both Christmas babies. Mine was a 26.
Oh, happy birthday, Vegas Deplorable. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's in the screen name. Salute. Happy birthday, Vegas. Dollar for dollar, barber lines matter. Your movie history is killing me, Smalls. Listen, I am terrible with names, folks. I will not forget a face. I will not forget a face. I can see a face from someone I met when I was 12, 11 years old. I will remember a face. I am terrible with names. That is my kryptonite. I apologize for that. $5 coming in from the new Prue. Tune in tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, on Real Alex Jones at InfoWars, and General Flynn is delivering an emergency message to President and the American people. I will most definitely be watching that. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, maybe me and Josh can pull something together following that message real quick. I don't know. We'll see. $5 coming in from True Deplorable. When Flynn was calling out Pam Bondi on X for her incompetence, that caused Comey case dismissal. He advised Trump to replace her with Sidney Powell. Woohoo! We'd definitely see action on elections. We will see how it plays out. I'm telling you, I still don't think Bondi is a bad one.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong.
I still don't like her.
I could be wrong. $100, big old Benjamin coming in from Charlotte Moore. Happy birthday, Josh. Alpha, that was a beautiful message today. The positive vibes you both put in the world daily will go on forever. Thank you both. And thank you, Charlotte, for that as well. Much appreciated. $20 come in from Boycott YouTune. Happy birthday, Josh. You guys are the best.
Oh, I appreciate you guys.
Josh gets birthday week, folks. He does. $10 coming in again from Charlotte Moore. Alpha Coffee is on me tomorrow for the X comments. Just trying to help your engagement on X. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've been battling those shadow bans for forever. Wow, it's not done. $20 from Charlotte Moore. Happy birthday, Josh. Drinks on me for your birthday. Very cool.
I'm waiting. You're a state away. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Drinks.
Let's go. Drinks.
We'll fly Alpha out. We'll all go have drinks.
I'm down for it. $50 coming in from GMA 99 inches. Maybe Grandma 99 inches. Happy New Year, Alpha, Josh, and Patriots. I'm usually silent on YouTube. Had to share how much you guys have inspired me to stand up and speak out. God bless and thank you. Thank you for finding that internal courage to get up, stand up, and speak up. Thank you.
Did I tell you what happened to me a few weeks ago?
I did not. You did not.
So the person's probably watching, and I just want to tell her hi. So I'm at my son's wrestling match, right? And it's a few schools away. I'm at my son's wrestling match, and he's getting ready to wrestle someone. And this lady looks at him, and she goes, your son's going to wrestle my grandson. I'm like, oh, cool. And she goes, you look very familiar. And I'm like, oh, she goes, like, my son goes to Delano School. She's like, you live in Delano? And I'm like, no. I'm like, no, my son goes to Delano School. She goes, man, where have I seen you from? And like, my son comes off the mat, he wins his match, and she's kind of like staring at me, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, I bet she watches the podcast.
No.
So I kneel down to her and I go, hey, you don't by any chance watch podcasts, do you? She goes, you're Josh. She goes, I knew it. She goes, I watch your show all the time, Badlands and DEFCON. I'm like, awesome. So just a shout out to her. She was awesome. She made my day, man. I don't ever get it. Like, I've had that happen to a few times in life, but that was awesome.
That's freaking cool. That is freaking cool, man.
I think I was more excited than her, but she was pretty excited.
I hope you guys took pictures. $1 for dollar from NC Cheney. Josh is wrong on silver. Hold on. I want to say this with some emphasis. This is a dollar one. I want to say with some emphasis. Josh is wrong on silver. China sold 41 tons of silver today to Chinese company. They are running out. The Fed has bailed out multiple banks to $51 billion plus in repo markets since Christmas. Silver kills the Fed.
Yeah, I disagree. We'll see what happens. Let's revisit that in about 3 weeks.
There you go. I said,
You know, it's always the people that have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars worth of silver that tell you you're wrong. It's always the people that have millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that tell you you're wrong. It's all the people that have millions of dollars worth of XRP that tell you you're wrong. I'm just saying.
I'm saying silver is going to hit 107, and then it's going to do what Josh is talking about. It's going to hit 107 or 98 or 107. It'll be one of those two. $5 from Heather J. Jones 1. I want to see the new patriotic Times Square ball turn golden when it drops and a letter Q. Dude, that would be. They would definitely say it was a hack. They would say somebody hacked the ball so that the only light bulbs that lit up made a Q. That'd be pretty cool if some hackers out there did that.
Do you remember during COVID when the TVs were broadcasting their messages, the emergency messages, and in the corner of it said, "We are with you"?
I do remember that. I do.
That was such a weird time.
That was a wild. That was. Yay. And by no means am I suggesting illegal behavior. I'm just saying it'd be cool if we saw it. That's all I'm saying. That'd be cool. $20 coming in from Elmy Vans. You two are the best. Happy New Year.
I appreciate it. And Derek Ujano on Instagram. I just followed you on Instagram. I don't have very many followers there, but I did follow you. So just an FYI.
There you go. Dollar for dollar from Arizona Native 520. You guys are so on point. Keep up the amazing work. BS below me.
Sure. No.
BS. I wonder who BS. There must have been a fight going on.
Yeah.
In the
I think
chat.
it's like I thought it was bullshit. Blow me. Like I don't get it.
Oh, I don't know.
Must have been a fight going on.
We need some clarification there. And last one, and then we'll go into the boost, if any. $5 from the new Peru. Thank you both for encouraging the troops and raising morale.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Thank you guys for the support, because if not, we would just be screaming out into the ether. Let me see if we got anything over there on Badlands. Oops. My keyboard goes to sleep if I don't type for a while. So then when I start registering, it only catches like the third or fourth letter, and then I got to start all over. All right, let's see. Boost. I'm not seeing Story Hour, Baseless Conspiracy, Devolution Power Hour, Devolution Power Hour. There is one. I don't know this one here. I'll read it anyways, because it's freaking cool and it's a huge boost. Stan says, became a Badlander. Become a Badlander. And that was a $300 boost today.
Ooh, for DEFCON?
No, it didn't designate any show. It just says became.
Nice.
Just says became Stan, became a Badlander. $300 boost. So that's pretty cool. So that covers us, and no super chats because YouTube is mad at Badlands. So we don't have any of that.
It happens to me too.
I will turn it over to you. I'm going to get that video prep for those that want to watch it. So if you can cover real quick, Josh.
Yeah. So number one is we are coming into the last day of 2025. I think we're going to see something. Listen, you have Flynn coming out today on Alex Jones. I wish he would have called us. It would have been great to have him on here tonight, but he's going to be coming out on Alex Jones, the largest podcast audience for Patriots out there. Whether you love Alex or hate Alex, it doesn't matter. He's just a methodology for Flynn to get the word out there with a message to President Donald Trump. I think it's going to be put me in, coach, I'm ready. And then Donald Trump says next 48 hours, you could see something. This potentially could be, because I believe that it's already been in negotiation, the National Security Advisor for President Trump, for Flynn coming back in. But I think that something significant is going to happen. Potentially John Brennan indictment. We could just see some bullshit, right? Like maybe a strike on Iran. I don't know. I think something very significant is going to happen within the next few days. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's going to be like oh shit, or if it's going to be like, oh my God, it started, it happened. I hope it's, oh my God, it started, it's happened.
Oh my God, it's happening. We got a Rumble rant that came in at the very end. $5 from JJJ Christ or Curse. Sorry. I would give a rant for a hack on the ball. Just saying it was JJJ that said that, not Alpha and Josh. Don't disagree with them though. I agree. I think, Cash says something's happening at the end of the month. Trump comes out, gives 48 hours. It all cosigns by the different posts that are there. I mean, it definitely seems like something's gonna pop down. And I can hear. Oh, that's you? Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that was me.
Yeah. Oh, you're good. I can hear the music. So I agree. And so with that, I will bring up the post that General Flynn reposted and read it to you guys, and then we'll use that as our outro video. It's a long video, you guys. It's just short of 10 minutes. For those of you, just to make you aware. I don't know how to make short ones. I apologize. I will work on that. But here's the quick readout on it to summarize the video. Life. We can't control the storms that rise without warning. We can't choose every battle, every loss, every moment that knocks the breath out of us. But we do control what happens next. We control whether we stand up when life tries to break us. We control whether pain hardens us or sharpens us. We control whether we surrender to despair or turn it into fuel. Strength isn't found in a life without struggle. It's forged in the decision to keep moving forward when quitting would be easier, when the road is dark, when no one is cheering, when the weight feels unbearable. So breathe, plant your feet, take the next step, even if it's a small one, because resilience isn't loud, it's quiet, stubborn, relentless. No matter what life throws at you, never quit. And with that, me and Josh will be signing off. And I don't know, maybe me and Josh will do something real quick tomorrow after that announcement. We'll talk following the show and see what we got for you guys. So enjoy this. We'll see you on the next side. Do us a solid. A little over 6,000 people watching over there on Rumble. Hit the heart, hit the thumb, and definitely leave a comment. That all helps with us.
Yep, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Much love, respect. God bless.
Yeah. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for spending 2025 with us. Much appreciated. What's up, Patriots? December 30th, almost the end of 2025. And something just moved me to grab my phone and make this video. It's actually been a very busy day. And I know this video is intended for everyone, but especially for a special person out there. I have been blessed with a great life filled with a tremendous amount of stories. And I've also been blessed with a life that has had its moments of nightmares. The recent one, a lot of you got to witness me battle through that and come out triumphant at the end. But what I realized in the greatest moments in memory that life has given me, and in the darkest hours life has given me, it didn't matter how many friends and family I had around me. There were still moments where I felt completely alone. And hindsight's always 20/20. But as I grew older and black turned to white, and those moments would come, I started to realize that I only felt alone in those moments because I was still trying to control what was happening. And when I realized that there are things in life that are just uncontrollable, that's when I realized that my creator was always there. And it was in this last nightmare that I had to go through in life
that I saw everything that I had spent 30 plus years sacrificing for, training for, and working hard to obtain: homes, boats, motorcycles, relationships, retirement. When I saw the devil destroy and then take away what wasn't destroyed, everything from me, I mean, it literally brought me to my knees in a solitary confinement cell, that I finally said, whatever it is you want, God, take the lead. I just want peace. I just want peace. And when I was forecasting the darkest moments ahead of me to prepare myself for that, I realized that relinquishing my desire to control the outcome of the uncontrollable, that the greatest prosperity in my life was in front of me and I didn't even see it. I mean, if you want to look at it materialistically, I went from becoming an employee to owning my own company. I went from wondering how the next bill is going to be paid to I'm going to be able to spoil my little ones with anything that they want. I went from having to sacrifice birthdays and Christmases in order to make a check to give my little ones what they wanted, to be able to run my own company and to do it from home. That when my little girl comes and jumps on my lap and says, Dad, I want to go to the park, I can do it. And if we rewind the clock back to January 20th of 2021, when I was on my knees in that solitary confinement cell, I could have never have imagined the level of joy I would be feeling 4.5 years later, almost 5 years. Everything I've experienced, from being a combat veteran in the Marine Corps in Iraq to 14.5 years of law enforcement, becoming a detective, working gangs, being in shootings, having people try to kill me in that line of work, seeing the worst the world has to offer, seeing my partner die in front of me, seeing strangers take their last breath. I have seen the worst that this world has to offer, but I've also seen the best. I've also seen the love and humanity and kindness that a stranger can offer another stranger. It was what helped keep my motivation to stay in those careers. And every time I found myself at what I thought was the foot of the cross in my life, I would later on in life realize that was only preparing me for the next, chapter. And I just want to say to everyone that's out there that's in a struggle right now, where you feel you can't breathe, where you feel like you're counting days left of life, it's okay to feel like life's unfair. It's okay to think you got shortchanged for all the work and sacrifices you made, and it's okay to be angry. But don't let any of those emotions take away your ability to control how you respond to what life gives you. We don't control what it throws at us, We do control how we respond. That's yours. No one can take it. And no one can do it for you. So keep fighting. Because we don't know the greatness that lies ahead. We don't even know what that greatness looks like. It may not even be for us. It may be for those that we love. Our wives, our husbands, our kids, our parents, a friend. Just never quit. Remind yourself how many victories you've already won in life. And never quit. Remember how many people are watching you to see how you handle your struggle. Be their example. Because chances are sometime in their life, they're going to encounter a struggle. And your story, your fight, may be exactly what they need to survive it when they encounter it. And just understand that those in the world that experience the worst pain have the broadest spectrum of what love and darkness looks like. We also get to enjoy life in a way other people can. I hope this resonates with you guys. And just understand the ultimate message. Just never quit. We get one life, one shot. Make it matter. God bless Semper Fi. And we'll do another video before the year's up. But I really felt compelled to do this one. Love you guys. Peace.
Mr. Top.